To meteorologist Jennifer Lambers. Jen, thanks for I was about to say thanks for coming back.
And Jen?
Thank you for coming back to us, Jen.
Of course, happy to be here. Yes, of course, happy to be here. Enjoyed the Labor Day weekend holiday, and you know what? It was feeling decent out there. We were still a bit on the warm side. We saw some of those isolated showers. Things are pretty calm out there currently, beginning to just see some of that cloud cover closer towards Florida, Georgia, even inland Alabama, beginning to see some of that closer towards home. However, we're mainly seeing mostly sunny skies to begin for today. Calm and quiet out there. And as for our temperature, some areas in our inland spots still resting in the upper 70s. Still seeing also some of that for the inland portions of the Florida Panhandle there. Elsewhere, seeing some of those lower to mid 80s. And then the dew points slightly better out there. They're resting in the upper 60s, the lower 70s. Really, once you start to see some of those 60s out there, it starts to feel better. So that is going to be a good sight so far to start off for this morning. The heat indices out there as you get closer towards the coast, that's mainly where we're starting to see some of that higher humidity, so still feeling warmer. As for our inland areas that were resting in the upper 70s, feeling like the lower 80s. That'll be the trend heading later on into today. Our feels like temperature only straying a few degrees away from the actual air temperature. Now, also some breaking tropics news right now. The National Hurricane Center, this feature right here, they had a 100% chance of development over really the next 48 hours, and I did just get that update that at this 10 a.m. advisory, they are going to start issuing advisories on what is now Tropical Depression 13. So again, that one right down there, that one's going to be Tropical Depression 13 at this next advisory update. Another wave coming off the coast of Africa. Low chances of development over the next 48 hours, but over the next 7 days, really once it starts to push off and develop further, we're looking at that high potential. And then just in the northeastern Atlantic there, really looking at the low chance of development for another wave. So mainly just monitoring this one right here. If it does become a tropical storm, the next name would be Lee, L-E-E. So we're going to continue to keep you updated right here on Fox 10. Monitor that one and have that update coming up on Studio 10. And also, we're going to continue to monitor the heat, the rain chances in the forecast, and everything else you need to know for the rest of your week ahead. All of that's coming up soon.
Yes, Jen, we know the heat is kind of turning back on after we had a little dip there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so in case you're heading on down towards the coast, it really is a beautiful sight out there. 87, you can really start to see some of those calm water conditions. Still some folks out there getting out and enjoying it, but we will continue to warm up heading later on into today. Really expecting more of those upper 80s, but mostly sunny out there. It's going to be looking nice. Now, I'd mentioned in case you're heading on down towards the coast, make sure you're still being cautious. That surf height is around 2 to 3 feet. So we're looking at moderate rip current risk heading into today, and tomorrow it drops to low by Thursday. So that will be the good news, is that improvements are on the horizon and possibly staying that way heading into the weekend. Water temperature still resting in the mid to upper 80s. Now by this afternoon, daytime highs expecting us to be maxing out in the mid to upper 80s closer towards the coastal areas. But as you head further inland, we're back to seeing more of those lower to mid 90s. So still going to be feeling pretty toasty out there. The feels like temperatures, once you take that humidity into account, not straying too far away from this. We're going to be feeling about 2 to 3 degrees above that by the time we make it later on into this afternoon. But plenty of sunshine to go around. Taking a look at our future cast, we do have the potential for possibly an isolated coastal shower heading into today. Those chances only about 5 to 10%. By the time we make it into the overnight hours, we'll continue to stay calm and quiet before you can start to see some of these offshore showers beginning to lift up. They're attempting to make their way closer towards our coastal areas to begin tomorrow morning. So if you live far close to the coast, you do have the potential to see some of those isolated showers, mainly southern Mobile, Baldwin counties, possibly Escambia County there in Florida, and that'll continue heading into the lunchtime hours. Again, biggest impact is going to be closer towards the coastal spots, but then you can even start to see some of those developing for inland areas later on in the afternoon. Rain chances, however, still staying pretty low, but we really do need them here across the Gulf Coast. Now, coming up in just a little bit, I'm going to talk more about your forecast, more about the National Hurricane Center now issuing advisories on what is Tropical Depression 13. Again, expecting that advisory around 10 a.m., but could possibly have it just a little bit earlier. Plus, also your weekend forecast. All that's coming up soon. Chelsea.